everyone, welcome back to Onyx Pages. I am in Jerry and I'm back. I was going to do the getting back to booktube tag, which I would commend to you if you, like me, have been away from your channel for some time. I feel like it's been, at least 8 weeks, maybe even longer, since I've filmed at home in front of the camera like this. And I was gonna do that, and then I decided not to because I didn't want to get into all of the questions or dwell on the fact that I've been away. And also, my life goes through a lot of different kind of changes, and if I have to do a getting back to booktube video each time I take a hiatus, I will be doing them often. So instead of doing that, I will just say that I know that it's been a while since I've uploaded a video to this channel, and I am back. It's been pretty busy at work. There's been a lot going on, and sort of taking the time to set up the lights and do all of the things and do the editing and get it up. It's just been quite difficult to do that for the past little while. But on the good side, what that has meant is that I have read a little bit more in the past couple of months than I have in a while, which is great. And it also has meant that I've been able to connect to other booktubers, watching their videos while putting on makeup. And I'm going to talk about makeup in a second because it's very important to my life right now. But I've been watching a lot of videos, watching a lot of newbie videos. There are a lot of new booktubers of color who are coming through, and so I just want to say welcome to all y'all, and you have a great community here of people who will support you and your channel growth, and it's just been good. But I do want to talk a little bit about why I've been away from booktube aside from the life stuff. I think after the most recent videos about booktube diversity and inclusion on the channel, I started to find that a different part of my brain was being engaged in the channel, in YouTube. I was watching a lot of the discussion videos. I was having a lot of conversations online and offline about representation in the books that we read, representation in the booktube community, how we build each other up. And frankly, I got a little exhausted by that. In other parts of my life, I have a lot of conversations about oppression and systemic discrimination and all of that, and those conversations started to bleed into my booktube life. And I guess it's naive to assume that I could have a part of my life that would be free from all of that, but booktube was about the reading and the connecting and the joy and the fun and the frivolity, and it started to bleed into the political side of things. And I found that a little tiring. So I think that also contributed to me kind of stepping back, reflecting, and thinking about how do I contribute to a booktube community that I want to be a part of, that inspires me. So what are the things that I should do, whether it's tags and readathons or connecting to people offline, building up their channels, shouting them out. And so that's what I'm going to focus my energy on for now. Okay, so I said I was going to talk about makeup. So I took a makeup course. I started a makeup course at one of our community colleges, and it's fun. It's fun to, you bring all your makeup and you sit down with a bunch of people, and there's a makeup artist who's our teacher, and I can just paint colors on my face for 3 hours once a week, and I'm really enjoying it. So this week we learned how to do wing liners, which is one of the makeup techniques that has caused me the most fear and trepidation. So I actually tried a wing liner today, and it's on my face. So that's a thing. I'm learning how to do them. I think they're pretty fly. And yeah, so I've been doing some makeup stuff, and I'm looking forward to our last week, which is this week, where we're going to recreate a makeup look, and I may or may not share that with you, but I've been painting my face, so that's been fun. Okay, so the other thing that I want to do is say thank you very much to the over 500 of you who have subscribed to this channel since the last time I posted a live video. My channel has now over 2,000 subscribers, And I'm very proud of that. And I'm very grateful to those of you who have decided to make Onyx Pages part of your YouTube experience. So it brings me a lot of pleasure to know that the content that I create is content that you're interested in. And it's really also holding me accountable to producing good content. Because I care about making sure that the time that you spend with me on this channel is edifying and interesting and entertaining. So thank you very much. In a few moments, I'm looking at my phone. It's on my left. You can't see it, but I'm looking down at my phone. I will be answering the questions for the 2,000 subscriber Q&A that I posted on my community tab. Also, another new thing, I now have a community tag. It's been unlocked on my channel. And so I'm excited about using that. So please engage with me in that way as well. But before I get to this, I want to shout out a YouTuber, a content creator who has been giving me some serious life in the past 2 or 3 weeks. Not booktube related at all. This content creator's name is Terrell. Terrell is such a talent. So he's got a channel, I think it's called Terrell, and he records reaction videos to music competition shows like The Voice and The Four. And I don't know how I stumbled on his channel, but I cannot stop watching it. He is talented. He's got amazing comedic timing. He's really able to connect with his guests. He's knowledgeable about singing. And he also is a singer as well. He seems to be trained, and so the kinds of reactions and comments that he has are very informed, it seems, from his own experience as an artist. But he's just got such a great blend of humor. He's got like a lot of like references to Christian pastor, minister kind of ways of communicating, and a lot of like queer stuff as well. Like he's a mix of identities that I really, as a Black queer woman on YouTube, I really appreciate, and I just can't stop watching his videos. So in an unusual turn of events, I'm going to be linking a non-booktuber channel to the description, and I would encourage you to check out his channel. It's just great when you just need to laugh, because he is so hilarious, and I hope that he blows up and that he's picked up by, other platforms. Okay, so that is Terrell. That's my shout out to Terrell. Tomi is here.
Hi. She's
been watching Terrell with me, and it's been great. And my favorite so now I'm gonna even like talk more about Terrell. My favorite video is the one with where he is reacting to Vincent on a previous season of The Four, and it's just great.
It's lovely.
I like him.
Yes, it is.
And he's good.
And they have lovely voices.
They have lovely voices. And so Terrell, Tomi and I think you're fantastic, and keep doing you, and it's great. And I might send you a book one day. Okay. All right. So what am I doing? I'm doing, yes, the Q&A. This is going to be, just prepare yourself. This is going to be a buffet of a video. All right. So first question for the 2000 Q&A. This is from Rashmika Likes Books, so I will link her channel down below, and please subscribe to her channel. So she says, which African countries in particular do you like reading about? I like reading about any African country. I don't have any that I'm particularly like fond of or have an affinity for. I have in the past tended to read more West African literature. I want to get into Southern African literature a little bit more and Northern African literature a little bit more, because I think that the kinds of science fiction and speculative fiction stories that come out of those places would be very different from what I've read so far. So I've tended to read Nigerian authors, Ghanaian authors, and I have a few books on my list that are from other parts of Africa. So for those of you who are interested in reading more African science fiction or speculative fiction, I would suggest that you check out the anthologies edited by Ivor Hartman called Afro SF #1 and Afro SF #2, both of which I own and have not finished reading. And then there are a number of other authors who are great. There's a book that I learned about in Amsterdam called The Queue, which I will put up somewhere over here. And it's a story about a family that, or communities of people that are lining up in a queue. And it's about what happens in that queue. And apparently it's a very long line, and it's questionable as to whether or not there's anything at the end of the line. And so it's really a commentary on immigration and government control and all of those kinds of things. And I met the author while I was in Amsterdam earlier this year. So that's a book that I would definitely like to read. So Rashmika, if you're interested in buddy reading The Queue or other books from other parts of Africa, I believe that you're South African, I'd be happy to read that with you. So connect with me. Which ones are you looking forward to reading in the future? Just told you. And I am so glad you make videos promoting Afrofuturism and Black writers in general. Thank you very much. Me too. All right. Lucy Reed said, congratulations. Thank you very much, Lucy. Lucy's really great. Lucy had some really... She's one of the people that I started watching when we started having these conversations about diversity, and I learned a lot about the booktube community through her videos, so you should check out her channel and subscribe to it if you're not already subscribed. She's got great humor. I love her voice, and she just gives, you know, no F's about saying the real things, so you should check Lucy's channel out. Then there's Blair Bullock, who I do not know, but Blair says, I have a lot of questions. Do you like to write also? So Blair, this is very interesting. I write a lot in lots of different areas of my life. My job requires me to write a lot. I journal a lot. Do I do any other kind of writing? I'm so interrupting you.
Yeah, you do.
What do I do?
You do a lot of creative writing.
I do creative writing.
Like
I used to write poetry. Yes, I like haikus a lot. But I don't write fiction. And I haven't written a short story or a flash fiction story. I have a lot of stories inside of me, but I haven't actually committed them to writing. But I'm glad you asked, because after my makeup course is done, I've signed up for a creative writing course in the beginning of 2019. And after that course is done, it's going to be followed by a writing science fiction course. So I'm going to be writing some science fiction, and I'm nervous about it, but I'm excited about it. I'm
excited about reading your work, and you are an Afrofuturist, so there we go.
He's very nice. You're going to meet her one day. She's right there. She's like right there. You could just look. So yeah, I'm going to write one day, but I don't write right now. Blair's keeping me accountable. Blair's like, did you finish revising your cowrie shell rating system? Well, Blair, I have not. I am still working on it, and I hope to have an interview with Walida Imarisha, who we both think is just very fabulous. And Walida is a writer, an activist, a poet, and one of the creatrixes of visionary fiction, which is a paradigm that I want to work into the cowrie shell system. So that's one of the videos that I hope to do either before the end of 2018 or right at the beginning of 2019, because I have a lot of books that I need to review, which I'm going to go over really, really quickly, and I want to be able to apply this new cowrie shell rating system to these books that I have read. So I haven't finished, but I wonder if there's anything I could share with you. I've been thinking about it. I started thinking about it at BookNet Fest when I was with Derby, hanging out. I guess one of the thoughts that I have about rating systems is that I don't believe that there's any kind of objective way to rate a book. I do know that there are certain conventions and expectations and features of good writing. Character development needs to happen in a certain way, or needs to hit a bunch of different criteria in order to be successful. I get that. But I'm also open to different ways of encountering characters. I want to learn more about some of the traditional ways that novels ought to be written. So I want to teach myself more about how to understand how a plot works, or how to understand how climax works, or different literary devices, points of view. I want to learn those things so that I can be more eloquent in the way that I describe books to you on this channel. But I also don't want to box myself in, and I want to really hone on what is unique about these books and unique about this channel. I don't read only for pleasure. I read because reading and filling my mind with certain kinds of images and ideas helps me be a better person and to contribute to the change that I think needs to happen in the world. And that's what I want to share. It's the essence of that change, the delta between what we experience now and what I think we ought to be experiencing as a community. That's what I want to convey when I rate books. So it's not only about if this person was likable or if this plot line was confusing. That's fine, but not really the kernel of what I want to share. So I'm still working through that. But thank you for keeping me accountable, Blair. And then Blair is getting personal. Blair's like, how did you and Tomi meet? So it's a long story, and Blair, we just met, so I'm not sure I want to tell you all the things, but I will tell you a little bit about it. So Tomi and I met over a decade ago, and we have these sort of these interesting things about our history. So we met at a conference, at a feminist social justice conference many years ago, and she was introduced to me, or I was introduced to her by some women who were part of her community, and yeah, and we met, and it was great. It was brief, it was lovely, and then we kind of just went about our lives. I think we might have been living in were we living both in Ontario at that time?
I believe we were living in
Ontario.
We
were both living in Ontario. Separate lives. And then many years later, we connected again, or we met again. So Tomi was facilitating workshops, and I was working in diversity and inclusion, and I came across her work, and I was very curious about her work and also curious about her. So I sent an email to her and asked her about her workshop. And I said, hey, Tomi, I'd love to hear more about this workshop that you're running. Can you tell me more about it? And the reason I asked that is because I wanted to know if I could get the time off work to go to this workshop, right? You know what she says to me? She says, if you want to know more about this workshop, you should sign up. And I'm like, who talks to me like that?
And I never heard from you again.
And you never heard from me again. That's right. I'm like, you don't get to be that saucy. Only I can be that saucy. So then years passed again, because I was like, no, don't talk to me like that. So years passed again, and then we were both on separate dates at an India Ari concert.
Yes, we were.
And we may or may not have spent all the intermission together, and that may or may not be because I approached Tomi, just saying. So we talked, and then again, years passed again. And then while I was in law school, Tomi sent me an email saying, or a Facebook message saying, would you like to meet for coffee? And I didn't know what that meant, because I mean, you can drink coffee in 5 minutes. So like, why would we meet for that? Like, what is this? What is the stuff of your request? And it just turned, I ended up saying yes. And we met, and we had dessert, and we talked, and it was fantastic. And then we played Yahtzee for 3 months at my friend's apartment. And yeah, and then we just like, at different points during that's when our courting began, and this was like the final connect. It was just the right time, and we got together, and then we got married last year. So that's the tale of Tomi and Jerry. Thanks for asking, Blair. You're making me get all personal and sheepish on my channel. So that's how we met. Where do I shop? Where do you shop, and Jerry? I'm always admiring your earrings and makeup. Thanks, Blair. I like you, Blair. So these earrings, I get my earrings from Toni Daly, tonidaly.com. Toni Daly is a Black woman. She lives in Toronto. She's fantastic. She's got an a wonderful vlog called Toni and the boy being her husband. And she also has another channel. And I don't know what that's called, but she also does a lot of support assista hauls. So I find out about a lot of products made by Black women because of her channel. So I will also link her channel below. So that's where I get my earrings. If you see funky earrings on this channel, it's because I got them from Toni Daly. And I know that Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading, and if you don't know her, you should subscribe to her channel. She knows Toni Daly's work as well. And Toni Daly will ship her earrings wherever you are. So you should definitely check out her channel. She's lovely and funny and has a very cute dog. And in terms of makeup, listen, I have a lot of makeup that I have just bought and accumulated for the past several years, and I just put colors on my face, and I go to Jackie Aina for my makeup inspiration, so you can check her out. And also Alicia, ooh, I forget her last name, but I will link, those are two beauty bloggers that I really like, and I will link their channels. And if you want to learn about makeup and stuff, you can go there. All right, Blair. Blair was all like, I want to get to know you. Okay, Irene says, congrats on 2K. I don't know if I'm still on time, but here are my questions. What books would you recommend to someone who is new to Afrofuturism? This is hard because it really depends on what you're looking for. I think that if you want to start... If you're interested in social justice related science fiction, I would start with Octavia's Brood. And that was edited by Adrienne Marie Brown and Walida Imarisha, who are two fantastic humans. So you could check that out as a start. If you're interested in fantasy, and short stories that are, you know, that run the gamut and can get a little dark and engaging and so on. And this is all adult fiction. I would start with any of the anthologies by Nalo Hopkinson. So Skin Folk is one of them, and also Falling in Love with Hominids. I really enjoyed that. I love Nalo's, she's my favorite writer. I love Nalo's ability to deal with really difficult issues through fiction. It's quite breathtaking, and her references and influences are Caribbean folklore and fables, and that's where I come from. So I really enjoy her work. There's also a collection of short stories that I believe came out last week by N.K. Jemisin. So I think it's called When Will It Be Afrofuturism Month or something like that. So you can check that out as well. If you're interested in nonfiction, the work of Ronaldo Anderson. So he has written Afrofuturism 2.0. It is an academic text that talks about the different influences that have come together to shape this thing that we call Afrofuturism. But I also want to say that Afrofuturism is only one way to describe African writing, or African American writing in particular, that's oriented towards the future. African science fiction, or what Nnedi Okorafor calls Afri-futurism, or what Nisi Shaw calls Afro-retrofuturism. Those are all other ways of talking about literature that is connected to the African continent or to the diasporas. So I wouldn't necessarily limit myself to Afrofuturism. Look around for African science fiction and things like that. So check out the calls on my channel and communicate with me over over DMs, or also in the descriptions. If you'd like specific recommendations, I'd be happy to give them to you. In terms of YA, Zara the Windseeker is a really nice start. Mother of the Sea, not exactly YA, but a really nice novella. What else have I read? Danielle Jose Older's Shadow Shapers series is really great as well from a YA perspective. Oh, and also Juniper Lee's, because it's just so sweet. All right, I think, who is your favorite author? Nalo Hopkinson. And which character do you most relate to? This is the last question. I don't have a character that I most relate to, but I just finished Justine Ireland's Dread Nation, and I found that I could really relate to the main character, Jane, in that. So I think today that's my answer. I don't know. Okay. this video is getting a little bit long, but I want to do one more thing. I just want to give you a sense of the books that I'm going to be reviewing at some point soon. Or the first one I'm not going to review. I DNF'd this. This is The War of the Saints by Jorge Amado. I picked this up through because of Latinx readathon during Hispanic Heritage Month, and I really couldn't get through it. I felt a lot of anti-Black racism in what I was reading, in terms of the way that the characters were developed and described, and also with the frivolous use of the N-word with the hard R. And I just couldn't, my soul couldn't push me to finish this book, so I DNF'd it. I just need to tell you that, because I was really excited about reading it and I loved the premise, but I couldn't get through it. I may at some point later, but that's where I am with that. Back Belly Inside by Celeste Rita Baker. So that is one that I really enjoyed and will be reviewing. As I said, I just finished Dread Nation. So there's that. I will be reviewing Redemption in Indigo by Dr. Karen Lord, and a friend of mine in Toronto had the opportunity to meet her at the University of West Indies for a speculative fiction conference, and apparently she was an amazing speaker, so I can't wait to review this. Then there's Itza, and I read this for the Latinx Readathon, and this is written by Rios de la Luz, so it's a queer, I don't know that they are Afro Latinx. I think they might be, but it's a family of water witches living on the border of on the Mexican border. This was an excellent novella. I also listened to The Poet X on audiobooks. It's Elizabeth Acevedo, and I really enjoyed it. And I read Tomi Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone, and I'm very much looking forward to this review. It will be complicated. All right, so I will end this very long video with a giveaway. So thank you very much for watching it all the way to the end. I have 2 copies of Black Friday because they were sent to me. And they were sent to me by Raincoast Books. And thank you very much, Fleur, for doing that. Okay, so Friday Black is a collection of stories written by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah, and you can take a look at my haul. Like, I think my last haul video, I actually read the jacket for this, but I had some notes here that I'll read from. So this is an excerpt from the notes that I got from the publishing house. A piercingly raw debut story collection from a young writer with an explosive voice, a treacherously surreal and all times heartbreakingly satirical look at what it's like to be young and Black in America. From the start of this extraordinary debut, Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah's writing will grab you, haunt you, enrage you, and invigorate you. By placing ordinary characters in extraordinary situations, Adjei-Brenyah reveals the violence, injustice, and painful absurdities that Black men and women contend with every day in this country. These stories tackle urgent instances of racism and cultural unrest, and explore the many ways we fight for humanity in an unforgiving world. In The Finkelstein Five, Adjei-Brenyah gives us an unforgettable reckoning of the brutal prejudice of our justice system. In Zimmerland, we see a far too easy to believe imagining of racism as a sport. And Friday Black and How to Sell a Jacket, as told by Ice King, shows the horrors of consumerism and the toll that it takes on us all. Entirely fresh in its style and perspective, and sure to appeal to fans of Colson Whitehead, Marlon James, and George Saunders, Friday Black confronts readers with a complicated, insistent, wrenching chorus of emotions. If you would like me to send to you a copy of Friday Black, you know what you have to do. You have to send a
haiku.
So put your haiku in the description box, and then I'm going to pick one, and then I'm going to send you a present. Thanks everybody for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.